The same face flickered across every television screen in Midtown in the mid-90s. Mitchell Mabee, the weatherman on Good Morning Midtown. A big station in a small market. It was a running joke that, of course, the weatherman's name was Mabee. He never gave any sure answers in his reports, only probabilities. The trouble was that viewers didn't want likelihoods. They wanted concrete assurance, and they told him as much. In line at the grocery store or the bank, and in bins of upset letters sent to the station.
I packed my snowblower away because of you, and now we're buried in.
It's your fault my car got hailed on. You're going to pay my auto body bill.
Mitchell Mabee was a lightning rod for viewers' gripes about living in the wild, weathered Midwest. Springtime was especially unpredictable. Blizzard warnings and tornado watches issued just counties apart. There was no telling what a given week would bring for Mitchell Mabee. However, all the criticism made one forecast very clear. There was a 100% chance probability of a murder in Midtown.
Mitchell, hey, nice live shot today. That was a great tag out.
Thanks.
Say, can I snag you for a minute?
Mitchell's boss motioned him into the office and closed the door as Mitch sat down. That didn't bode well. Mitch saw a binder labeled Focus Group on his boss's desk and felt his stomach roil like mercury boiling.
Say, you've been doing a terrific job.
Yeah?
Absolutely. And to keep the momentum you're building, well, we'd like to try something new.
The higher-ups at the station had asked Good Morning Midtown fans what they would change about local news.
Young viewers, they want something more engaging from their weather. Peppier, upbeat. You could probably guess that our long-timers want more certainty in your forecasts. They count on you for that.
Well, this isn't a game show. I'm not a fortune teller.
The sun dropped behind the buildings outside, and a steely chill settled as Mitch's face flushed hot.
Of course not. No, we don't expect miracles out of you, Mitch. You keep on with what you're doing, and to help you out with the rest is Margot, a partner you can split the workload with, tag team.
You hired someone new?
Yeah, to give you a hand, like I said. A fun new face to add to the mix.
They were edging him out. Mitchell was certain of it. Resentment rose in his chest like a swelling thunderhead.
Whatever it takes to keep him tuning in. Keep the eyes on the screen.
In the first weeks of Margot's training, Mitchell was a reluctant mentor, a magician only sharing half his tricks. Margot picked it up quickly and even started soloing shows. As Margot's role grew, Mitchell's forecast turned dark, cryptic. He was cordial to Margot and their team weather hits, but there was a tension building every day. Like the charged air before deadly weather strikes. The anchors felt it, so did the producers in the booth. Even viewers called in to comment.
Your weather guy has always been prickly, but there's something sinister about him lately. I don't like it. More Margot, please.
How had it come to this? Mitch used to visit preschools and teach kids with laminated umbrellas and suns, sticking rain jackets on paper dolls with Velcro. Students would send him crayon drawings as thank yous, jagged lightning bolts and spirally tornadoes. But not anymore. Margot was the new favorite, getting invitations to classrooms and stacks of fan mail. It hurt, but he could stomach it. Her new popularity. He could even stomach how well she gelled with everyone in the newsroom. But when twister conditions hit Midtown and Mitchell got passed over to cover the storm live, something unseen shifted in him. And Margot packed up her gear and climbed into the satellite truck. Mitchell's anger gathered. He could feel it converging, as if watching a storm form far off on the plains. Black clouds churning in a sky bruised purple. Mitch steadied himself and got set in front of the green screen. The severe weather trumped top stories, and so the show opened with Mitch in studio.
Good evening, Midtown. The entire viewing area is under a tornado warning as several funnel clouds have the potential to touch down. Seek shelter if you have not already. We now take you live to the intersection of Engel and Gemar, where there's the largest probability of tornadic activity.
In that moment, as Mitchell tossed to Margot in the field, the studio lights blinked out and an electrical fire sparked in the dark of the control booth. Mitchell Mabie stood motionless, overcome with jealous rage. Engineers shouted and scrambled to restore the lights and get back on air. In all the commotion, no one noticed the transformation Mitchell was making. The inhuman growl and monstrous tearing of the green screen. Only one meteorologist had been chosen as Midtown's favorite, and only one would survive the night.
Previously on Murder in Midtown. When weatherman Mitchell Mabie was passed over for the story of his career, reporting on a string of tornadoes hitting town, he was overcome with the green monster. Not the typical jealous fit, but a truly horrifying manifestation of his rage. The Midtown Twisters leveled barns and a casino that rode the county line, but luckily, no one was hurt. At least, not by the tornadoes. When the power cut out and the news station's generator failed, producers called weatherwoman Margot back to the studio.
There's no point in keeping you on scene if we can't broadcast the connection. Head back. It's getting too dangerous out there.
Straight winds toppled streetlights and drove stop signs into buildings. Grill covers tumbled through the eerie green neighborhoods as Margot and her photog raced back to the shelter of the news station, not knowing that what waited in the dim studio was far more dangerous than any weather threat.
Hey, we're back. Hello? Mitch?
An animalistic groan rose from beside the anchor desk, drawing Margot deeper into the shadows beside the green screen.
Mitch? Well, I have a pretty shaky shot of the funnel right before it touched down. I can show you what we got. Where is everyone?
Margot stilled, turning in place to scan the dark studio and stiffening when she noticed that even Keegan, her cameraman, was nowhere nearby.
Back here.
Margot jumped at the voice in the dark. Cautiously, she followed the sound to the green screen. A jagged tear had been ripped through the center. Margot slow-stepped toward the battered fabric, her nerves on high alert.
Mitch? I can't see you.
What about now?
Margot screamed as Mitch's face appeared out of the torn green screen. His features had morphed into a twisted mask of terror. Thick, reaching tentacles climbed out from around him, and a voice that wasn't his voice croaked from deep within him.
Till next time, Midtown. Good night.
2 decades had passed since that terrible day. Mitchell Mabie disappeared from newscasts with no explanation. Good Morning Midtown went off the air shortly afterward. Rumor was that Mitchell took off for a bigger market in suburban Chicago or Des Moines, but no one could find a trace of him. The whole news team went radio silent, and the studio sat abandoned, a condemned concrete skeleton in the center of downtown. That is, until Maeve Hawley, a Midtown native, had the idea to revive it all. The show, the set, all in the original studio, for nostalgia's sake. The idea was a hard sell, even to her husband.
With everything that's happened, are you sure about this?
Of course. Don't you remember watching Good Morning Midtown every day before school?
Yes, but given the history...
I saw Mitch Mabie out mowing his lawn once when I was a little girl, and it felt like a celebrity sighting. I know there are mixed emotions about him now, about the station, but it's a new crew, a new era. Let's wake up Midtown again.
The day the new program was set to air, the weather was sunny and clear. New graduates who knew nothing of the station's history made up the news team. They filtered into the studio that, despite fresh paint and new tech, was still haunted by the memory of Mitchell Mabey.
15 seconds till show.
Maeve Hawley felt suddenly sick with nerves.
I'm too anxious. I'm going to walk my dog around the block.
10.
Maeve leashed up her pup and moved toward the door.
Stand by in 3, 2, 1.
The moment the on-air sign turned red at the top of the show, tornado sirens sounded. The piercing wail blared across town and in through the studio doors where Maeve stood with her dog. In that same instant, every phone in Midtown chirped and buzzed with a torrent of severe weather alerts. Television sets came to life on their own, broadcasting staticky maps of storm fronts sweeping through town. Viewers were baffled.
What's happening? My phone is blowing up.
Once again, Mitchell Mabey's face flickered across every television screen in Midtown. Flashes of his grin and the outline of some shadowy, tentacled creature grew to fill screens, blocking out the weather maps entirely.
Hey, was that Mitchell Mabey? Did you see that? What's going on?
To viewers, it seemed the weatherman might ghost right through the TV screen, invading every den and living room in Midtown. At the station, Mitch appeared as if by hologram. Slowly, he grew more solid and more gruesome. Not Mitch at all, but a monster meteorologist. He turned and locked eyes with Maeve in a moment of silent terror. Just then, a black and white blur shot through the studio's chaos. Maeve's pooch had pulled free from his leash and raced toward Mitchell. At the last instant, he veered to Mitch's side, diving below the teleprompter and attacking the cord for the on-air sign. The dog grabbed the cord in his mouth and wrenched it from the wall. The red-lit letters blacked out. Everything quieted. Mitchell was gone as suddenly as he'd appeared, and the monster along with him. Maeve heaved a sigh and stooped to hug her hero husky.
That's right. Who's the best boy? You saved us. Wait, what in the world?
Maeve's arm froze mid-pet. She pulled her hand away from the dog when she saw that what was wagging behind him was not a tail, but a tentacle.
And that concludes our Murder in Midtown green screen story. Until next time, Midtowners, stay safe out there.